Right, hello, I'm live and hopefully this gets shared because YouTube have changed the streaming thing again, as I said on Sunday, and it means it doesn't quite work right at the moment. Well, I think technically when I do a public live stream like this they work fine, but the members ones don't seem to work properly. Alright, Lewis? As in I have to manually share them. So this came today, so I'm going to be doing a video on this later showing different wavelengths of laser, but this is the type of laser you get in a Blu-ray player, a 405 nanometer. And what's really cool about, alright Mr. Live Eric, what's really cool about 405 nanometer is it's only just on the edge of the visible spectrum to the human eye, so it's actually brighter on the webcam than it is to my eye. But the really cool thing of it is it makes glow-in-the-dark stuff glow really well because of the wavelength. So if you look at that there, even though it isn't that bright a laser compared to my more powerful ones, or that there, that's probably reflecting too much light for you to see that properly. But yeah, you can see it easier with that. How much it makes that glow. All right, Brighton. But yeah, so it's kind of interesting because it's easier to see on the camera than it is with my eye. It warms my skin up a bit, so I'm trying to think how powerful this one would actually be. Because the label on it just says it doesn't exceed 1 watt, and I don't think it's 1 watt because it would feel hotter on the skin. It's probably at least 100 milliwatt, I imagine. So really, you should use safety glasses with it, but you know, I'm not going to bother with this one because I don't think it's powerful enough to really warrant it. Like, there's some of my lasers, like the 8 watt, I always use the safety goggles with this one. Alright, Drunk Russian, and oh yeah, on the DP66, there you go. That's it, making that light up. Yeah, it's cool. What made you laugh really hard, Brighto? I've bookmarked that video you said about the camo thing on, so I can watch that at some point. Or were you laughing at me burning my eyes out with a laser? But yeah, let me flick the lights off if we're doing a laser stream. Let me go get some other lasers. I'm not going to get the blue one though, just because it's quite dangerously powerful. But I'll, well, this is a blue one. I don't want to flip the light. I know, you can see the squiggles on it now. Let me look up PEQs. It's probably one of those things where I know exactly what it is when I look it up. Yeah, I've done some videos on those. I've got a Chinese rip-off PEQ, and I've got like a really good, like, smaller version of those, so I like those. But anyway, I won't watch a video while I'm doing the stream, Brighton, because obviously I'm streaming at the moment. So yeah, what colours have we got? So we've got red, so that's a high nanometer. So yeah, red lasers are they about 650 nanometer, I think, red. Green, oh, that's the blue one. Green's 550 nanometer, also like right in the middle of the visible spectrum, hence why it looks so bright. And then yeah, the Blu-ray one, 405 nanometer. It's 450 nanometer, by the way, the really strong blue lasers I've got. But yeah, so if you see that on there, look, that makes glow-in-the-dark stuff work really well. I'm gonna show that in the video, because the interesting thing is that the other lasers, although they're brighter, like look at that green one, that doesn't actually make that glow. So if I shine that there for ages and then take it away, notice it's not even doing anything to it. So yeah, I don't want to look at it with my eye, because obviously that's a very, very bright laser. But notice that doesn't make the glow-in-the-dark thing work at all, even though that's stronger. Same with the red, because its UV doesn't get basically activated by these, but that one, even though it's, you know, not as powerful, really activates this. All right, your mother. All right, Craig. Oh, and AK said he's waiting for his Soviet trench coat he ordered in March. It depends who you order from, in all honesty, AK. Probably depends on how good the seller is. Yeah, I'll be doing a video that will go on tomorrow about the different wavelengths of laser and like the stuff that they do and don't do. But like I said, I Blu-ray lasers are cool just because, like I said, it's really more like a UV laser than anything. It's not quite in the UV spectrum, but it works like a UV light works. See how it makes that glow? Really cool. Yeah, correct, Lewis. That's what's doing it. Quite a few masks have buzzing or vibrating noises because, yeah. All right, Fuzzy. But yeah, so green, red, and blue. Yeah, this is the more interesting type of blue in some ways because the one I've got, the burn stuff, is 450 nanometer blue, so it's more blue, right? This is more kind of purple, but yeah. But like I said, the cool thing with this is how fast it sets glow in the dark stuff off. Yeah, Fuzzy, this is the one I was on about on the members stream yesterday, so I can do the video on it tonight and put it up tomorrow, but I'm going to do a video demonstrating what different wavelengths of lasers do. But yeah, and in that video, because I have the safety goggles on, I'll also show my blue one. The only annoying thing with these is because of how they turn on, because they don't have a toggle button, you know, they've got a button you have to hold down. It will make it harder in the video to show them all at once because I want to have like all the lasers turned on, shining at a wall, so you can see what they look like there. I suppose I could, if I put them flat on a surface, would the weight of the laser be heavy enough to set it off? No. I suppose I could put a weight on it, but yeah, 405 nanometer is cool just because of how much it makes stuff glow in the dark. Wonder how much it will damage the webcam. Let's have a quick flash at the web. Oh, that's actually cool. You can see the blue beam, can't you, on the webcam from that? So I can't see that with my eye, the actual beam. So if I get the angle right, yeah, that's weird because I can't see the beam with my eye because of the fact it's not you know, it's not there we go. Oh, that looked weird, didn't it? When it was close enough that it, like, yeah, like purple flashing. Yeah. Kind of weird how it looks like it's actually lighting the room up properly. Yeah, because all the colours look correct there. That's weird. But yeah, whatever. But yeah, so yeah, that's the interesting thing with this is you can actually see the beam on the webcam where I can't with my eye because the webcam sees this better than the eye. If I get that back where you could see it. Yeah, because I can't see that beam with my eye just because of the fact that it's 405 nanometer, so it's visible to the eye. It's not very visible. Because obviously that green one I can see really easily with my eye. Because obviously that lights the room up. And the red one, can I see the beam of the red one? Just about. You can see it at night, all right, but it's weird because the red one actually is harder for the webcam to see by the look of it. Yeah, that's kind of weird that the red one actually the webcam doesn't see that very well. It's kind of weird, but never mind. Yeah, black lights are what Americans call UVA torches, aren't they? It's technically just a UVA. I've got a really good saying that UVA torch recently. I ought to do a review on it. It was like one I paid for. Right, I hope I've not burnt the focusing sensor out on the webcam. Hang on, is that going to focus? Right, I hope I've not burnt the focusing sensor out on the webcam. Ah, there we go. Right, is that refocusing? Yeah, there we go. Right, good. Yeah, it also depends what sort of delivery service they've got it on, AK, because I've had stuff arrive quickly from Russia and some stuff that takes ages. Oh, a real Ghostbusters, not female Ghostbusters. I don't know, Lewis. That's a good thing I could test on a video with a shit mask, of course. I'm not going to burn a good mask. But for my 100k video, I am going to destroy my most awful gas mask using an 8-watt laser. Yeah, it's weird to me that I can see the red beam with this with my eye if I put it against the dark objects, but the camera can't really see the red laser. Well, it can see the laser, but you know what I mean? It can't see the actual beam of it, which is kind of weird, because like I was saying, with the with this one, it can actually see that fairly well, which sort of surprises me, because with my eye, I really can't see that at all. Like I said, I can see the dot, but you can't see... Yeah, the most interesting thing of this is just the fact it really goes crazy on a UV surface. But yeah, so this is the exact type of laser they use in a Blu-ray player. Well, when I destroy it, Lewis, it was more going to be set on fire, kind of destroying something. So what I was planning on doing was coating it in something really flammable and then putting my 8-watt laser on it so it just incinerates the thing. I don't think so, Ricardo. As far as I'm aware, because the ray in a CRT is inside a vacuum. I'm sure that a magnet would not affect light energy like that. Because I know of radiation, X-rays and gamma rays can't be manipulated by magnetic fields, but beta rays can be. So it's probably something a bit like that, that essentially photonic light, you know, like this sort of light, you know, you can't, the only way it interacts with things is visibly, in the sense like, you know, it bounces off a mirror. So see, like I'm pointing this that way, but you can see the, because there's a mirror at that end of the room, you can see the laser. I'm at an angle, by the way. See on the right armor. And by the way, where I'm sitting here, I'm not directly in line with the mirror, so I can't actually get it to hit me in the face. You know, I've made sure that on purpose when I've shined lasers. How odd is the blue one? See, 'cause that's the weird thing, is that the blue one, the webcam picks up that wavelength really well, actually, which is kind of surprising. Does that glow under UV? It sort of changes colour a bit, but just has that thing which makes it go almost like white light. I could actually do that, Lewis, if people really wanted me to, because I've got the lasers capable of doing it. So if people actually would like to see various things destroyed by lasers, I don't mind doing that on videos. What? How is the laser powered, Flazzy? These are all 18650s. Hang on, let me put this light on. So all of these ones, because if you look for ones called Laser 301 or Laser 303 on eBay or anywhere, they're always the same kind of design. And then you just look for the nanometer you want. So essentially, there we go. That's light show for you. But yeah, let me open one up. So you've got a tail cap with keys, so I always just attach the keys to the lanyard so you don't lose them. And then you can unscrew them either there or at the end. They actually unscrew a bit better here. And then you just have an 18650 that sits facing upwards like that. So it just takes a single 18650, so it's a 3.7 volt laser. And this is the focusing bit here. So if I can get, I put this on too tight earlier. Hang on. So yeah, that's the focusing bit. But this so if you want to see the actual diode itself, there's the diode. Look. So that obviously just looks like a UV flashlight, doesn't it? Actually, like that, because yeah, because obviously that's not focused at the moment through a thing. Yeah, so there's the diode. So that will actually just be, generally with these ones, they're just Blu-ray diodes, if it focuses. Like the type, they literally like the type you get from a Blu-ray player. And then what you've got in there is the spring, I think, is just to keep it like not loose. Then you've got your focusing bit. Yeah, I've got a I ought to do a video review on the charger I use, Fuzzy, but let me show it you. Hang on. The cable's not long enough, so I have to unplug it probably. Has they got a long cable? Actually, I might be just about able to get this in frame. So the charger I use, hang on, let me just dust it off, is one of these. An Xtar VC4, because Hype sent me an Xtar VC2, which is good, but the VC4 is better. And this is one where you can put various batteries in, and I don't think it's going to focus very well on the screen, but it's one where it will adjust the voltage correctly for the battery, and it's got all the safety features. So basically, just to show you, if I get an 18650 out, so let's get one out of, I've not got a battery in that one at the moment. Let's get the one out with the green laser. So one of my good 18650s. Actually, yeah, I've got, I think this one's fully charged. I'll use this one. But yeah, so when it's fully charged, the thing, hang on. When it's fully charged, it goes green. When it's charging, it goes red, and it lets you cycle between the batteries on there. Anyway, let's take that one out. So then what you do is obviously push it in, and then that goes across to tell you what voltage it's charging at. So it's charging it at 4.2 volts, and it's telling you there it's a lithium ion. Like with that one, it knows it's a nickel metal hydride. And yeah, then you can also see if the batteries, I know the webcam's not showing that properly because it's too bright, but it will also show you how much charge has gone into them, so you know if it's like, you know, the battery has the capacity that they claim it has on the outside of the battery. Yeah, there's a burn mark on the wall over there, 2 grams of gold. That's why I specifically, like I said, only used good chargers now. It is really not worth with lithium batteries risking using a shit charger because of the fact it could literally, you know, kill you or burn your house down. 2 grams of gold. Just literally go on eBay and buy old British Army surplus if you're after them. But I don't know if I actually got these from eBay or if I got these from an Army surplus shop. But they're just DPM 95 trousers because I was dog walking today and I got absolutely soaked when it started raining. Oh, I've burnt more of the webcam outlook. Can you see that on there? I'll put my finger on it. See that bit there? Yeah, that's I've made that burn more significant now. Well, you know, I knew that was a risk, but still, it's interesting, isn't it? Laser burn. So yeah, is that actually completely dead pixels, or is it just discolored? I can't tell from here. Right, Stug. Flazzy, it's called an Xtar VC4. Let me find it for you on Google. But the VC4 is good because it does both lithiums and nickel metal hydrides, where their lower end models don't do both. You have to get a specific one for each. Hang on, let me. I mean, you might want to go through Mike's link if you want to get Mike a bit of commission on it. It's actually purple on my screen, but yeah, there you go. That's the one. Oh, they've come down a bit, Flazzy. When I bought mine, they were like 30 odd quid. So yeah. Actually, that's different than my one, I think, because it says mine doesn't say max 0.5 amps, I don't think, on the various things. Okay, so I guess you're meant to charge the lithium ions probably on channel 1 and channel 4 with that one. Does mine say that? I don't think it does. No, my one is the same across all channels. So that's a bit different than my one. It isn't as good by the look of it. That's probably why. But yeah, Xtar do good things. I was looking at their store. They do like loads of power banks and like flashlights and things, but Well, Ricardo, it'd be a really, really good source of energy if they figure it out. I mean, I know they've come a long way with fusion research. Well, a real one, Stoke. That's brilliant. Yeah. What is the cost? I'll actually have to see if I can find a copy of that, Justin, because I'm interested in watching it to see, how propaganda it is. But yeah, what is the cost of lives? This TV show, I guess. But yeah. So these lasers, I'll mention this in the video when I film the video on them later. If you want to get one of these for a good price, because some stores charge more for them, what you want to do is just simply look for laser 303 or laser 301, because they always use that same body kit. So if you know what you're looking for, you can actually source the decently powerful lasers on eBay for like £10 to £15 each. All right, cool, Flazzy. Yeah, like I said, if you get the one that's like in the picture, obviously just make sure you put the batteries in the right charging ports for them. Because my one doesn't say max 0.5 or max 1 on each thing like the one in that picture did. But yeah, they're very good chargers, those. Because like I said, the main reason is because I had a cheapo charger explode and start a fire in the house before. And if I'd have been next to it or somebody else had been next to it, it would have taken their hand off or whatever. And if I wasn't in the room, then the house would have burnt down because I had to beat the fire out, using a cloth. The scorch mark's still on the wall over there. I think I've showed people it before on the webcam. But yeah, after that happened, I never will use a cheap charger again for 18650s or any of those, because obviously a lithium it wasn't even a battery as big as an 18650. That's the thing. The bigger a lithium cell is, the bigger the explosion it's gonna be when they go up. But yeah, cheapo chargers are just not worth it, considering how dangerous lithium batteries are. Yeah, like I said, these just take a single 18650. Ah, that's interesting, Brighto. So that's the old style ones, is it? That's good to know. But wonder what your teeth look like. They just glow. I was wondering if they would do anything interesting. Oh, an interesting thing with red lasers as well, I'll show in the video, is because of how the body reacts to red light. Watch that. That's freaky, isn't it? Like, I know you can do a similar thing with a red torch, but like just how. Let me turn that light off so you can see a bit better. Like how well red lasers go through your hand is crazy. Like you can see all the tendons in the hand if you do that. It's almost like an X-ray. It's cool. But yeah, that's an interesting, because like the green ones don't go through your hand like that, like the reds do. But yeah, so it's just kind of weird seeing that happen. Like you've got a little light in your hand. Lewis, isn't it meant to be very historical according to history buffs? But yeah, Death of Stalin's a good film. I don't know, I'm shining that so close to my eye. That's a stupid idea, actually. But yeah. The webcam was not auto-brightened itself now. Yeah, the thing I find really interesting, though, like I was saying, is that red and green lasers don't activate UV stuff, which is the thing I find really weird. So you can have a really bright laser to the eye, doesn't do anything on there. Dimmer one does that. Right, see you, Craig. Hope you get your cows back. Didn't know you kept cows, but okay. Yeah, I mean, saying that, infrared, yeah, that's another thing. I'm going to be showing an IR laser in the video as well, even though you can't. IR lasers are very boring if you don't have night vision, but I'm just going to include it in the video because I might as well at the same time. But yeah, like I said, I think you can have loads of fun with blue wavelength lasers just because they do that with glow-in-the-dark materials. Also, watches as well. So yeah, it's good. It's good for watch looms as well. probably not as visible as that, is it? But yeah. Yeah, it's typical Flazzy, isn't it? If you want to ask somebody something, they're not on. Oh yeah, Mike said he won't be streaming tonight on Twitter because I don't think you're in our little Twitter group, are you, Flazzy? But yeah, Mike said he has been like ill today, so he said he's not going to be on Twitch tonight. So just in case you're going on Twitch or anything later to watch, because I quite often watch Mike when he's on Twitch playing games, but yeah, he's ill at the moment, so that's why he's not on tonight. Yeah, I just find it crazy these how quickly they activate glow in the dark, surfaces. But yeah. I don't think so. 2 grams of gold. Yeah, Postal 2. I've got Postal 4. Your mother, but I've not played. Have they fully released Postal 4 now, or whatever it's called? Postal No Regrets. Or... Yeah, fair enough, Fuzzy. It's just I just thought I'd mention or anybody else that's on. But he said he won't be on tonight. Hopefully he's on tomorrow if he feels better. But yeah, he said he just wouldn't be on. He just turned the computer on just to tell people he felt ill. So don't expect to see him later. What's Postal 4? I don't know why I always want to call it postal. I suppose it's because most words in English like that would be pronounced like that, but postal, as in postal workers shooting people. Yeah, Postal 2 is good fun. Let me have a look, Brighton. Yes, though, but I think he said he might play through it again, didn't he? But that's fine. I'm glad he's getting use out of... that looks a lot better, that bottle, Brighton, saying that. But yeah, what was I going to say? So because I bought him Resident Evil, 8, I paid for him to get it. I think in the end, because it Amazon ran out of stock, he ended up cancelling it for Amazon, and then he spent an extra £5 to get the digital download copy. Yeah, Hostel, but yeah, the Hostel's an actual thing, isn't it? Hostel's like a youth hostel. I only played the first bit of it, Your Mother, when it first came out, as early access. What about Battlefield 2042? I'll probably buy it when it comes out, but it's not out until October, is it? But yeah, Peach. Oh, look at this bad boy. It's quite funny because it's actually not very visible to the human eye. It's a Blu-ray laser, so what actually reads and writes Blu-ray discs. But in a handheld thing. I'm tempted at some point if you can get them, but I've not really seen them as a very common thing. Getting an old 80 nanometer red laser, that's the type that CD players used to use, 680 nanometer. But I've not actually seen any built like this, or at least not for good prices. Because that's the cool thing with lasers, there's all the different wavelengths of light you can play about with. No, I haven't, Adrian. So what's this about? I've not even heard the news mention this at all, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's something important that the news won't talk about it. But yeah, the crazy thing is, Peach, with lasers, is that red lasers red and green lasers don't activate glow-in-the-dark stuff, like glow-in-the-dark phosphors. It's only the blue frequency ones that do that. But yeah, this is a different type of blue than the actual blue laser I've got. Like the 2 watt and the 8 watt. So the weird thing is, this is one that is more visible to the camera than the human eye, because it's right at the edge of the human sort of visibility wavelength. The main reason I'm interested in it, Flazzy, is because that they're letting you do multiplayer stuff with all the content from Battlefield, Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, and all that. Yes, Doug. So, that's why it interested me, because you can reuse all the assets from Bad Company 2 when you're making games on the multiplayer servers, like all the guns and tanks and that from Bad Company 2. Yeah, Lewis, that's the thing I was on about. The portal mode, where you can use all the different contents. But yeah, so the video on tomorrow will be me showing you all the different lasers and like what the different wavelengths do when they interact with stuff. But yeah, I just thought that'd be quite interesting because I like lasers. But it's only recently lasers have actually got to the point where you can get decent ones at affordable prices. Because for years it used to be like to get a good laser you'd have to spend like £100, where like the only ones you could get cheaply were the very low power, ones in like the tiny little pen things where they burn out really quickly because there was no cooling, like no heat sink for the laser. Bad Company 1 or Bad Company 2, I have played both of them, but because if it's a campaign thing, though, I didn't play much of the campaign, as in I've completed both the campaigns, but I'd only played the campaigns once, because, I mostly played it for the multiplayer. I don't think radio like that will die for enthusiasts. I think radio is going to definitely become more of just a digital radio type thing for most people that even bother with the radio, but I definitely think you'll still be able to get stations on AM and FM just because of how easy a technology it is to, get everywhere in the world. I could do Your Mother. I think you might have answered this before, but the entire game's out now, isn't it, of all the Zen stuff? So I'd have to play through it all first, and then I can stream it. But yeah, I kind of agree with you there, Brighthall. Yeah, TV is the thing that seems more irrelevant than radio. Because again, radio, you can get like a tiny little radio that can still pick up stations all over the world. Because I love my shortwave radio. I need to dig out. I might get a digital shortwave radio though at some point, saying that, because I'd love a digital one where you can actually write down the frequencies properly of like weird stations you can find. I've not actually watched the trailer for it, AK, funnily enough, saying that. I just know about some of the stuff in the game. Oh yeah, Flazzy, I might have mentioned this yesterday, but did you hear about the BBC's head of diversity thing where they're paying some woman more than the Prime Minister gets for literally saying BBC racist? I am all black people. Did you hear about this? Yeah, Stug, there's just so many mods for Ravenfield, aren't there? So I was doing Redcoats and Bren Guns versus the Zulus. But yeah, I wish though that you could use mods with the kind of like, what's it called, conquest mode, whatever it is in Ravenfield. But yeah. So this woman Flazzy is getting something like over £250,000 a year to basically say we are racist, we need to hire more like black people, all that sort of stuff. Count Binface is in like the bloke who runs as a joke in some of the elections or whatever it is. There's a couple of like candidates like him. What's Poe Power, Brighthole? You might have mentioned this before, but I yeah, it's definitely worth getting, Stug, just because it's basically, it plays kind of like Battlefield 2, like the old Battlefield 2, as in like the US versus China, that Battlefield 2. But it's got quite good ballistics in it. So like every single bullet from every gun isn't a hit scan weapon. Every bullet drops off at range. So pistols feel really different from rifles and SMGs and everything. And then there's just a stupid amount of mods for it on the workshop. So what software-defined radio then, Little Picker? So what, as in like a dongle that plugs into your computer and then you get the software for it so you can... I get you, yeah. So it's like a USB type antenna thing that goes into the computer and then you use the computer to like pick up what frequencies you want to do. I don't get it though, Brighthole, but okay. But yeah, BBC is a joke. It's not a funny joke, but it's cover up for paedophiles. Be incredibly politically biased, and then pay stupid amounts of money to somebody who literally works 3 days a week saying white people bad, hire more black people. And again, like it would be nice, wouldn't it, of all these things, if they hired the best people for the jobs, and if they don't hire enough black people, then maybe they should hire black people if they're qualified enough for the various jobs or whatever. But you certainly don't pay somebody over £250,000 a year to work 3 days a week to literally say, oh, we don't have enough black people. It's like, what sort of job is that? But again, it's woke bollocks, isn't it? Because again, it's the whole thing of racial quotas rather than judging people on their ability and their character. Because the woke brigade don't like Martin Luther King, do they? Because of the fact he literally said, people should be judged on the content of their character. Oh, they don't like that. Yeah, I mostly watch GB News AK-47 when I watch the news over here, because GB News piss off the BBC to no end. And they have Farage drinking a pint with somebody every night at 7 p.m. All right, see you, Lewis. That does sound interesting, Letter Picker. I have to look into that properly at some point. But number stations and stuff like that really interests me because of all the weird stuff you can find, like regarding stuff like that. Oh, I see. The hour John Paul died. I get you now, but I still not. Yeah. Let's see if putting a better battery in this makes it significantly more powerful. So that makes the pattern fine anyway. Yeah, like I said, I like GB News just because there's a load of different opinions on there, aren't there? And again, they cover a lot of stuff that BBC doesn't cover and Sky doesn't cover. It's weird because Sky News Australia is much better than Sky News UK. So yeah, that is a bit brighter, saying that. Yeah, that's just because I've put a better battery in it. Because, yeah, the one I had in there was just one of these cheapo ones that, again, do not charge something like this on a cheap charger, because that's a double way of getting a battery to explode. That's cool, Little Picker. That's definitely something I ought to look into at some point when I've got the time to look into it properly. But yeah, so, again, if you're getting a good battery, get something like this. Go on somewhere like Amps Plus and buy the good versions of batteries rather than the cheaper ones. That just came free with something. It's fine to use and stuff as long as you charge it up with a safe charger. Because that's going to be bollocks. Look, 11.1 watt hours. It definitely does not have 11.1, storage on this one. Because bear in mind, more expensive ones like 3,000 milliwatts. Who's Pope? Oh, what? John Paul II. Oh. Yeah, there's a lot of child abuse in the church, isn't there? I don't want to go into a depressing stream, though, talking about kiddie fiddlers. But yes, they're But yeah, what like you're saying, like the way they stick the Queen's face on everything here for tourists. Where you can get like the Queen on a mug or the Queen on a plate. The same thing just with the Pope or Diana on something. Let me have a look, your mother. I mean, it depends how customs scan things in various places, doesn't it? And how dickish the person on the customs thing is. Mankung Spectre. I mean, it's probably got to at least have a metal bit on the rail, hasn't it? I'm assuming it's, like you're saying, it's mostly plastic, but yeah, with a couple of metal bits on it. I mean, it really depends how dickish the customs are, I guess, for it. Because it's like you could see it on an X-ray, but again, there's lots of things like that where you couldn't even legally have them in places, and customs still like, no, that's illegal because I don't know what the laws are. Yeah, well, that's the thing, like, I just more find it interesting, all the different, like, number stations there are, kind of thing, I know they're not very interesting to listen to because you need to have the code book, don't you, where, where each bit refers to. But it's just I find them more interesting because somebody brought up on Discord earlier, like, the creepy thing. I think it was Chocolate Muffin brought up the creepy thing on the, he found, like, some creepy tones on the radio, so I linked him to, the Lancashire Poacher station, or whatever it was, the British one that went, but it did it in like the creepiest sounding way possible, and then you'd get like a voice read out a load of numbers. But I mean, when Prince Philip died, did Poundland do a load of like commemorative Prince Philip tat for £1? I'm kind of disappointed if they didn't, because like I said, with all like the royal wedding tat kind of stuff Poundland does, but I didn't see an Ashens video on like Prince Philip tat, so sadly they probably didn't. But it would have been funny though if it was like R.I.P. Prince Philip, and then there was a load of just tat, like a mug with Prince Philip's ghoul face on it. And don't get me wrong, I like Phil the Greek, but it's just the sort of absurdity of all this kind of stuff they pump out. Because the thing is, like, with that, if you don't know Brighto, is that if you watch some Vashon's videos, you'll see like just how much stuff is made for tourists, just with like bit pictures of the royal family on there. But saying that, maybe the Pope could have covered up for Prince Andrew. Maybe they could have been connected in that way. I don't know. Yeah, that's Ashens, Fuzzy. One where he normally always has an old brown sofa. But yeah, he used to basically, if you go back years ago on his channel, he used to review like Chinese knockoff video game consoles. That's kind of like what he originally got famous for. And then he got really popular just buying really random crap from Poundland and reviewing it, like awful stuff from Poundland. Like the sort of things that, like, if your headphones broke and you just needed some headphones for whatever reason for a day, the sort of headphones you'd buy, but the ones where people would constantly use them, that sort of thing. So he'd review stuff like that, but he did ones where, like when there was the royal wedding, when they did loads of royal wedding tat, so he just bought loads of it to review. Yeah, that was the thing, Litpicker, because people on here keep going to me, oh, you're interested in ham radios. And it's like, I find the concept of them interesting, but yeah, it's like you say, it's the more interesting stuff is when you used to be able to get on the police scanners and that before they used to be like all the Tetra encoded stuff. All right, Nick. But, what radio have you got? Oh, I've got this radio. Oh, it's raining. Or is it like that then? Oh, it's raining cats and dogs today. Oh, I need to put the battery back in it, don't I? Because I took it out to say why this battery was obviously lying about its stupid capacity. Yeah, Nick. As you wouldn't have seen it earlier, here's a Blu-ray 405 nanometer laser. Look how quickly it lights stuff up, even without being that bright. Because yeah, the camera sees it better than the human eye does, but it's very sort of exciting to stuff that glows under it. Oh, it makes all my uranium stuff glow over there. But the webcam never sees the colour of that properly. I think my regular camera does, but not my webcam. For whatever reason. Yeah. But yeah, I think one of the hardest things I laughed at on an Ashens video was the one where he had breakfast mess or whatever it was. If you don't go out and buy some, you must be the devil himself. What was that actually a review of, though? I can't remember. Was it like some really creepy children's toys or something? But the other one was when he was going for like Poundland action figures, and there was the firefighter that looked more like an Axe Maniac, where it was like some guy, like, an action figure with a face like that, and it was, just the fireman, all his accessories were like an axe. So you're saying he was a serial killer playset? Basically, James, for the most part, yes. I mean, what you could do is, this isn't the perfect solution, but it's the best possible thing I can think of. If you can get your prescription, like cheap from a website where you can just buy frames online with a prescription, get another set of glasses and then take the sides off of them, so it's just like this bit of the glasses, and then just try and attach it inside the mask somehow. That would actually work. My subs are from all over the world, 1400. Most subs are from America and the UK, if that's what you mean. My subscribers, but I've got some in all different countries, like some in China, some in Greece, some in African countries I don't know the name of, but when I was looking on the Google map and I saw somebody using a proxy, apparently, people in whatever countries it was. So actually saying that, I do know names of quite a few African countries. Should we go through a load? Egypt, Tunisia, Algeria. So Israel's more Middle East, isn't it, rather than being part of Africa? But Zimbabwe, formerly Rhodesia. I'm not doing them from left to right or anything on the map. Niger. What other ones are there? Chad, which actually looks like the Chad shape of a head. South Africa. Rwanda, Uganda. Oh, see, I know some of them. Yeah, that's another one, Fuzzy. Well, that sounds interesting, Litter Picker. It's just something I never really got into, but yeah. Yeah, James, that's the only thing I can think of, really. Because I keep meaning to do it myself, but next time I get another set of glasses on my Ivory Coast, and I get an eye test, what I'll actually do is I won't lose the bit of paper which says my exact prescription. That way I can buy a cheap pair online, just very basic frames, and take them apart to do that. I'd say 1400. Find out what content you want to make and be quite consistent with the content, because YouTube seems to favour channels that do one type of video and do them consistently. Yeah, Sierra Leone, where the SAS went in and shot a load of them because they thought that rap and magic protected them from bullets. And like Nick says, yeah, you want to do stuff that you inherently find interesting. Because I think the problem where a lot of people get disillusioned with YouTube is when they make videos that isn't really a subject they enjoy, but they think it's a subject that will make them money or whatever. Whereas if it's like a hobby that you enjoy anyway, it comes across a lot more in the videos, and you're probably going to have a lot more fun making them. Because the thing is, in all honesty, if I had a channel where I only did one type of video, and I did that for years, I'd have already got to 100k by now, I reckon. The problem with YouTube seems to be they don't promote you as much if you do various things, but I could personally not only do videos on like gas masks and nothing else. Also, because you just end up repeating yourself loads, wouldn't you? I use quite a professional camcorder when I'm not on a webcam. Sometimes I use my phone camera, but most of the time I use my, it's a Canon, whatever it's called, G50 or something or other. It's like a big camcorder thing. You don't have to use something like that. You can obviously just use a phone camera, because for the most part, as long as the video is not shaky and horrible and the lighting's not awful, it doesn't really matter. Because a lot of phone cameras now are perfectly good enough. It's just the reason I have like a really good proper camera is I just like having a really good, nice camera for, when I want to do stuff more professionally, to have something like that. But I don't always end up using it. Sometimes I just use my cheaper cameras anyway. Depends if the videos will really benefit from having a better camera. The camcorder I've got, by the way, is the same one Photonic Induction bought when he came back to YouTube like a month or so ago. It's the exact same one. I think he's got like a more modern iteration of it. It's the exact same like model and series essentially. Yeah, litter picker. Well, that same thing that applies to a lot of countries, isn't it? If you're at war with somebody, and they apparently give you a gift, it might be a trick. Yeah, that as well, Nick. Yeah, that's the problem, James. Because when I last had these set of glasses, I completely lost a bit of paper that says like what my, prescription is for my left eye and what my prescription is for my right eye. Because I'm short-sighted, but one of my eyes is slightly better than my other eye in terms of like not being fucked. I mean, neither of them are really fucked because I can still see at a distance. I'm not like one of those people that needs like bottle cap style milk bottle glasses. But yeah, obviously I don't want to just randomly try and buy prescriptions online if I can't remember what they are for my eyes. Yeah, and also good audio as well. I have no idea what that is. What is that 1400? I've not even heard of it. Is it a website or what? I don't know. I've never heard of it. But yeah, I have no idea what that is. That's right, James. Like I said, I think I am technically due another eye test quite soon anyway. It's just because of Corona. Like, I've not had one, like, when it was, originally, because I normally have one every 2 years, because my prescription doesn't change much, but I always just end up, going, because I go to an ophthalmologist or whatever they're called, rather than an optician. Or whatever the word is, the ones where they do all, like, the scans behind your eye, using, like, the specialist machine so they can check for, like, horrible health conditions, those ones. It costs a bit more, but it's a lot better service. So when they're back up and running properly, which I think they are now, so I'll see if at some point they send me a letter in the next couple of months saying, oh yeah, you're overdue an eye test. And then when I just get that, I'll just get the bit of paper anyway. It might be all right. Yeah, like I suppose it's like a new Commonwealth type thing, isn't it? 1400. I mean, I definitely think there needs to be a lot more cooperation between a lot of like the proper free nations, to stand up to the communist Chinese party, and all that. Because there's the problem is, I think at the moment is there's no real kind of international thing of like, oh, there's been a lot of problems with China. So what is the West's attitude to China going to be? And again, nothing against Chinese people. I'm all about like the CCP, and stuff like that. Yeah, like cans as in, yeah, like Kansas fan. Oh, so they like the Viagra, did they? But that is actually quite an interesting tactic, isn't it? Stuff like that. Much better than like the ghost tape type stuff they did. Like, woo, I'm a ghost in Vietnam, surrender, that sort of thing. All right, King Canada Rossetto. I'll only be on about another 5 more minutes, but that's that. If you are interested, that's why the video is called 405 nanometer. It's kind of crazy how it just draws lines across things like that. Oh, actually, saying that, that's cool. You can see the laser more easily through a glass of water. Or at least I can with my eye. I don't know. Yeah, you can just about see that on the camera, look. That's cool. I suppose it's because there's like more particles in the water or some shit. I'm not a physicist. If I get Stalker 2 and I like it, I'll stream it once I've completed it. If I don't like it, then I won't stream it. There you go, look. That's quite visible through there. That's cool. Yeah, a lot more visible than in the air, isn't it? Through the water. Oh, Radiac Maniac. What was this you were saying about your house having radiation in it again? What have you done? Where did I put the red one? There you go. It's weird because you can't, on the webcam, can't really see the red laser very well. It's weird because I can see it really well with my eye like that, but the webcam just doesn't seem to pick this one up very well. Like, you can see it, but you can't see it as well as with the eye. Oh, so what was this when they came before to clean your house up and they just left loads of radioactive waste behind? Yeah, it's been dispatched. I don't even know what this radio scan thing's called yet because I don't think they've got it on their website, the spectrometer. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting it because I'd really want to play about with something that tells me what radionuclides are in different places. The thing is, 1400, I was saying that, the Soviets, I think, would have left Afghanistan anyway, even if they weren't beaten there, just when the Soviet Union collapsed because of Chernobyl, because that was the main thing, probably, that doomed the Soviet Union. There's something over there, look. It might just be a bit light reflecting, but I'm trying to work out... Oh, it's the metal cap on the spray bottle, isn't it? That's what it is, because I can see it on the webcam. I was like, what's that? But yeah, it's that reflecting light back, isn't it? So you can point to stuff like a teacher with a laser pen. Although I find that thing funny where the Chinese sell the horrifyingly powerful laser pens and they're like, oh yes, use it on a whiteboard, use it on your cat. It's like, no, you don't use a 1-watt laser on a whiteboard. Oh, my eyes. Taliban. Oh, speaking of stuff like that, what meteorite sing, by the way, and yeah, if you didn't see it, because I don't know how long ago you came on. Where's my blue one gone? It's on the there it is. Yeah, I was just saying, cool. It's low wavelength or high wavelength, depending on how you look at it. Lasers are cool. Like shorter wavelength is the proper way of saying it. Higher energy, short wavelength. But yeah, there was a joke I made like that, something I worked with didn't get, where I was taking a load of bin bags out to the dumpsters, and so I was, carrying loads and loads of bin bags, and I said, I'm bin laden, and they're like, I don't get it. His name's Bin Laden. I'm like, oh, it's, I'm laden with bin bags, but never mind. To be honest, you don't have to be very smart to enjoy Stalker. You just have to play it enough to get past the fact that it doesn't play like a lot of other games do. In Iraq, Fuzzy, I would guess. But wouldn't that be Saddam keeps his CDs in Iraq? Because Bin Laden was in Afghanistan. Wait, he was actually in Pakistan, wasn't he? But yeah, I imagine Saddam keeps his DVDs in Iraq. Bin Laden. But yeah, but I suppose Saddam ended up hanging around, didn't he, when they gave him some freedoms. But yeah, I'm sure these sort of jokes will get me cancelled, won't they? Because you can't make fun of terrorists and dictators. That's racist. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I'll be off now because I need to get the video done on these lasers. And I don't want to drain the batteries too much in them. There's an old newspaper clipping that says something like Bin Laden puts his things for peace or something or other. And it's like, oh, that didn't age well. To be honest, Fuzzy, I don't think we've said anything in this one that is actually properly controversial. I get more worried when we end up talking about drugs at some point. Stuff like that, or people's mental health. I think that's more of the thing that's like, more upsetting to a lot of people or whatever. The most offensive thing I was saying was probably about the woman working for the BBC getting paid over £250,000 to work 3 days a week to say white people bad. It's not a whiteboard. What this is it's just a massive bit of glow in the dark, like sticker stuff. So what this is basically, it's designed for people who do DIY stuff, so you can cut little glow-in-the-dark stickers out of it. But the reason I bought it is because I like messing around with stuff that makes glow-in-the-dark stuff glow. So all it is just like a big reel of glow-in-the-dark stuff. It's just buying a big DIY sheet is much cheaper than buying like little plates of it. But yeah, it's just blue wavelength lasers are really good at making glow-in-the-dark stuff glow. Yeah, Nick. I suppose if you're getting paid that much to do work 3 days a week, you'd say whatever. How do you manage to break your set? How do you manage to break your radius scan? How did you break your radius scan? Did you poke a hole in it or something, or drop it, or what? Thankfully, I've not broken my radius scan. Saying that, my radius scan is right here because I was charging it up earlier. Let's turn it on. I'm actually interested in seeing something with this. So with my radius scan, I'm just wondering, will the 405 nanometer laser set it off? Nah, that's not ionizing enough. The battery's not charged up much. I'll actually take the batteries out to charge them, probably. No, it doesn't react to this. Because some radiation detectors will actually react to UVC light, like germicidal stuff, because it's the UV that's ionizing enough that it detects it as radiation, as in ionizing radiation. Now, with the GQ ones, you should be able to get replacement Geiger Muller tubes to those quite easily. Which one's the Radex one? Let me have a look. I don't have one, by the way. Oh yeah, it's just doing a low battery warning. Yeah, it looks all right, but I don't know what the range is on it because obviously, yeah, shut up. The part of the thing with Geiger counters is you want one with a good range on it. And a lot of cheaper Geiger counters, or ones, more of a mass commercial appeal, aren't really like wide range ones. They basically say, oh, it's background radiation or it's high. Whereas this goes up to at least 1 Rontgen. And, it actually takes a lot to saturate this. So it will keep going and just tell you it's over 1 Rontgen, which I quite like. But a lot of Geiger counters, just cut out or only go to like 1 to like 100 microsieverts is like the most quite a lot of cheap ones go to. Right, Berger? What was in the Geiger counter? No, because that's not radium. Like if it's radium, it definitely reacts to radium, but like I say, it's not charged at the moment, so it doesn't react to anything. Radium would make it tick, yes, but this is just like modern glow-in-the-dark stuff, and I'm using the wrong laser. As this is just modern glow-in-the-dark stuff, all this is like some sort of phosphorus. Yeah, I'll be off, Fuzzy, because I need a shit as well. So yeah, I don't want to hold it in. At least you managed to replace the get scale if it was a simple job like that. But yeah, if it's old-fashioned glow-in-the-dark stuff like radium or a very, very strong container of tritium, something like that, or iridium, yes, they would make it react. Anyway, no Pergio, because it's not giving off ionizing radiation. It's only giving off light. But yeah, I know what you mean. But like saying germicidal lights make some Geiger counters go off the same because of the wavelength. But it has to be quite a short wavelength, because essentially a Geiger counter, because it's like a gas-filled tube on the inside, it has to be something that's powerful enough to excite the gas inside its tube. But anyway, I'll be off because, like I said, I need to run to the toilet. Have a good evening, everybody, and I'm going to get that video filmed in a minute.